Hello, and welcome to this episode of Roundtable Talks. In this edition, I'm by myself to answer 3 quick questions. So, here we go! First question comes from longtime friend Melinda Sells, and she asks just how and when we all decided we wanted to do this. Well, Melinda, I'm going to cop out, and I'm going to say go check out episode 4, Beginnings of Roundtable Talks, because there we talk about our origin stories. And if that doesn't answer the question, then come back and ask us again. And now the second question comes from Matt Ackemeyer, and he says, where do you get them Jocelyn sticks? Oh wait, let me read it in the correct voice. Where do you get them there Jocelyn sticks? Well, to answer that question, Matt, we're going to go on location. So I'm going to send it out to our reporter in the field, Paul Horner. Take it away, Paul.
Thanks. Hey, I'm on location here in sunny South Florida. Let's go inside so I can answer the second question. So here we are at one of those big box home improvement stores. And this is where we get our Jocelyn poles, or as we like to call them, lances. Hello. We have to come down here to the finished lumber area, and we look for full round. Now for flagpoles, we use 1.25" full round, and for jousting lances, we look for 1.5", or in this case, 1 3/8". This is poplar, light and strong. Good choice.
Thanks.
So I've got 2 good candidates here, and usually it runs $1.50, $2 a linear foot, so you're looking at $20 to $30-ish for a 10-foot lance, and these are 16, so good find. I was only coming here to film, but now I'm going to buy 2 of the lances. So there you go, where we get our Jocelyn poles from. Let's throw it back now to you in the studio.
And now let's go on to the third and final question. And it comes from Tess Nichols. And she asks, I'd like to know the meaning behind the name, where heroic knights of old came from. That is a good question. Now answering this question might be a little controversial, so I had to go get a fresh cup of coffee, and we're going to go sit down. And it's controversial because of where I was before I started Heroic Knights of Old. I was with a company that shall remain nameless. Oh wait, I'm walking, I'm mobile. I should probably stop for a moment and take a pause, kind of like a mobile pause. I don't know why I said that. But let's go sit down and we'll talk. Okay, let's try and keep a very, very long story short. Any of you that know me know that's going to be impossible. However, I'm going to try my best. When I decided to start the Heroic Knights of Old, I was coming off of a term of employment with a company for about 6 or 7 years. And there became a time where there were irreconcilable differences between me and the owner of that company. So there came a point when I had to decide whether I was going to go work for another joust company or start up my own. And I think at that point in my life, I was kind of done helping other people make their dreams come true. And it was time to make mine come true or fail trying. So I decided to start my own jousting company. And at that point I had to put together a team. And bless Rick and Amy for signing on to help make Heroic Knights of Old a reality. Because without them, we wouldn't be here. So once we had established that we were going to start a company, once we had established that I had a team, I had to come up with a name for the company. And I've always had the philosophy that a jousting company should have a name that can be said on the joust field without anachronistic overtones. So you should be able to say in the middle of the show, I from the heroic knights of old, as opposed to I from International Jousting Conglomerate Incorporated. You should be able to say it on a fair day and it shouldn't sound out of place. So that was the first guideline towards establishing our name. And then I will be very honest and blunt that there was a lot of bitter feelings at that time. And so I threw a bunch of names around, and I wish I'd written some of them down, because I was just walking around and throwing names again, seeing what would sound good, what I thought would stick as a real name. And one of the things I came on was the Noble Knights of Old. And that really kind of struck a chord for me, the overall name, and I'll admit there was a little bit of a dig in there. And when I was talking it over with my mother-in-law, who is a wonderful human being, and that was serious, by the way, we were talking about it. She's like, do you really want to use that word? I was like, it just sounds right, and I know it may be interpreted, and I probably wasn't being honest with myself. So what we did was we looked up synonyms for noble, and we went through and one of them was heroic. And it made me kind of pause, and the heroic knights of old. I was like, you know what? Yes. And it also kind of gave me a focus for the direction of the company. Most joust companies have very strong delineations, black and white, of good guy versus bad guy, heroes versus villains. And I never saw the world in black and white. I always saw the world in shades of gray. And apparently there are 50 of them. Who knew? So with the direction of heroic knights of old, or heroes, we realized that we didn't want to have these delineated, stereotypical black and white roles. Anybody can be a hero. Good guy, bad guy, fat guy, thin guy, guy, girl, old, young, it doesn't matter. Everyone needs a hero, and everyone can be a hero. So there's always someone for you to look up to. So there you go, Tess. The origin of the name Heroic Knights of Old. It came out of a little bit of bitterness. Well, who am I kidding? A lot of bitterness. And some vindictiveness. But as with all good things, it evolved. And through the evolution of the name, we obtained a direction for the company which I think is unstoppable. So thanks for the question.